It's Colors of the Month time! Hello and welcome back to Jenna Gets Creative. I know, I said last month I wasn't feeling the 4 color palettes this year, and I'm giving myself permission to skip months on this challenge now, but not only did I need an idea for this week, I genuinely like the palette chosen this month. If you're not familiar with the Colors of the Month challenge, this is a limited color palette challenge issued by Marker Universe, which is an online marker and accessories retailer serving North America. They used to be Imagination International, which was the exclusive North American distributor of Copic products, but Copic restructured the way they handled those things in 2020 and everyone had to adapt. So yes, when they were a Copic company, this was the Copic Colors Challenge. 3 Copic markers were picked every month, and they even packaged special monthly color sets to be ordered. That's actually how I got my first Copics. I ordered the August 2018 Chow set that came with a cobalt blue multiliner as well. But then as Copic made changes and Imagination International had to change with them, so did this challenge. In 2020, they started selling other brands and specified an exact shade in every brand they sell for 3 colors every month and called it the Colors of the Month Challenge. Now, in 2021, they've switched to just specifying a hex code for 4 colors and saying it's a free-for-all. On one hand, I do like the free-for-all aspect. It feels more open for interpretation. They just say, match these colors, use all 4 or use fewer, use any medium or digital, have fun. Blend, dilute, add black and white, just don't add extra colors. On the other hand, sometimes 4 colors is too much and they aren't even very well matched, so it doesn't end up being very inspiring. I'd say at least half of the 4 color palettes this year have made me think, why don't you just have us use whatever colors we want then? These don't go together. I also miss the exact product color names. They always just let us mix and match anyway if we didn't have the exact shade they asked for, but I liked using the exact ones if they specified. I bought these Karin Brushmarker PRO watercolor markers that I'm using today around this time last year, and it was really nice to just look at the Karin shades on the list, pull those exact markers out, and go. Now I have to guess at which ones they would have picked. The colors for May 2021 are hex code 4A4A93, which they're calling Iris, and hex databases call it Indigo. Hex code 43D249, which they're calling Sunflower, and hex databases call Mid-Yellow. Hex code C596C4, which they're calling Wisteria, and hex databases call Light Purple. Hex code EE8080, which they're calling Rose, and hex databases call Light Red. I've chosen to use the following Karin Brushmarker PRO shades: 169 Indigo Blue, 283 Gold, 247 Pale Violet, 168 Rose Pink. After saying all that, I went and looked at the Marker Universe website, and they do have a page where they're selling some open stock markers specifically for this challenge, and they did indeed pick gold as a Karin marker for the sunflower color, but they've picked red lilac for the rose shade, which is more on the magenta side of things, and they've picked violet blue. I'm not sure if that's their choice for Iris or Wisteria, because the 4th Karin marker on that page is Fire Red, which obviously doesn't match this month's colors at all. They messed up and listed red for a couple of brands too, so I think the open stock listing is still half last month's colors. So I guess my wish for a curated specific product shade list is still valid. The open stock suggestions seem to be an afterthought. I suspect this challenge hasn't been generating the revenue it used to when they did Copics, and they're just not as invested in it. For those who are interested in the other supplies I chose to use, the paper is one of my leftover sheets of Seawhite of Brighton 350 GSM cold press watercolor paper from a 2020 Scrawler box. I sketched using Prismacolor col-erase pencils in vermillion and lavender. I made an invisible wax barrier where I didn't want any watercolor to stick using a Faber-Castell Goldfaber pencil in white, and I only ended up using a single brush. It's a store brand generic No. 2 round from Curry's. wasn't sure when I sat down at my desk what I was going to paint. I actually kind of wanted to draw a bear, just randomly out of the blue, but I couldn't find a reference that inspired something in this palette, so I looked at one of my other reference categories that almost always inspires: dancers. I saw a very overlit stage photo of a male ballet dancer in a flowy white shirt doing what appears to be a very simple temps levé, and I immediately thought, he looks like every children's fairy tale book illustration ever of a fairy in flight. What if I put wings on him? So here we are, very storybook illustrative style fairy boy with galaxy effect wings. I really like it. If I'm ever commissioned to illustrate a kid's book with fairies, I know how I'm going to be doing it. In the comments down below, tell me what would you have done with these colors. These names they gave obviously sound like a bouquet of flowers or a garden, but that felt too obvious, and frankly it would be really easy and really boring to do a floral design every single month. If ever a palette they challenged us with called for flowers though, it would be this. If you're looking for more to watch, I've got some suggestions up on the left side of the screen now. Don't forget to like, comment, maybe even subscribe, and if you like living life creatively, whatever that means to you, I'd love to have you along for the ride. Bye guys!